On a bold legal move, the Democratic Republic of Congo has filed a criminal complaint against Apple subsidiaries in France and Belgium, accusing the tech giant of sourcing minerals from conflict zones within Democratic Republic of Congo, commonly referred to as blood minerals or conflict minerals. So DRC has filed for the first time accusing Apple, and this is really a huge move for DRC. Now let us see the news in more detail. So the complaints were officially lodged on December 17 this year, marking a significant escalation in the global conversation around ethical supply chains in the technology industry. So there are many countries, if really DRC have started this, there are many countries that should follow step, because this happens in the fashion industry. There's a lot of abuse, a lot of blood minerals, blood labors, you can call it, lots of things, that reach to the shop of these rich companies, and us also, whether knowing or unknowingly, contributing to make rich these companies more and more without questioning how it came to how it came to being, how it came to to be a product that is ready to be used. So we all have to know stories behind all the things that we own. Now, allegations against Apple. So the DRC's legal action claims that Apple has failed to ensure its supply chain is free from minerals mined in regions controlled by armed groups. These groups are notorious for perpetuating violence, child labor, and environmental degradation. The mineral in question, like tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold, are crucial components in high-tech products such as smartphone, computers, and then you can also count in there are EVs, electric vehicles. More and more the world is moving to electric industrialization. The more and more these minerals are going to be looted from our regions, from our continent, and from other parts of the world without really checking how it came, whether child labor is involved, whether this is coming from a conflict zone and making rich individuals and warlords. So the world is greedy, and all these Western powers or Eastern powers, they all are in competition, including China, the US, China versus EU. You have it more and more. So they don't question anything. The moral is just thrown out of the window. Now, the DRC's stance is this. The government of Democratic Republic of Congo has stated that this legal action is part of a broader effort to hold global corporations accountable for their role in fueling conflict and exploitation in mineral-rich regions. Okay? So I'm really, really glad that DRC government is taking this step. Now, this lawsuit underscores our commitment. This is in quotation, okay, from DRC government. This lawsuit underscores our commitment to justice and ethical practices in the global supply chain. That's what the representative of DRC, of Ministry of Justice, said. Now, the country has long been a major supplier of critical minerals, but mining in the DRC is often associated with human rights abuses, corruption, and environmental harm. By taking Apple to court, the DRC aims to set a precedent for greater corporate accountability. Exactly what I said, what I just told you. This will set a precedent for others, to follow their footsteps and bring such companies to justice. Now, what this means for Apple, let's look at that. For Apple, this lawsuit presents both reputational and operational challenges. The allegations strike at the heart of the company's public commitment to ethical sourcing and sustainability. if the court rules against Apple, the tech giant could face significant financial penalties, stricter regulatory scrutiny, and a tarnished reputation among increasingly conscious consumers. Additionally, the case may compel Apple to reassess its supply chain practices and potentially invest in more robust verification system to ensure conflict-free sourcing. Now, this could lead to increased costs and supply chain disruptions in short term, but might ultimately bolster its standing as a leader in ethical manufacturing in the world. Apple's ability to navigate this legal and public relations challenge will likely influence how other tech companies approach similar issues, exactly, particularly in ensuring compliance with international human rights standards. Now, what is Apple's response to this? Let's look at that. Apple has denied the allegation, emphasizing its commitment to responsible sourcing. The company stated that earlier 2024, it had instructed its suppliers to suspend sourcing minerals from the DRC and neighboring Rwanda due to escalating conflicts in the region. Really? So what is the proof that they are not using it? Now, in a statement, Apple highlighted its ongoing efforts to use recycled materials in its products, noting that certain products lines now feature 99% recycled tungsten and 100% recycled cobalt. I don't believe it. We remain steadfast in our commitment to ethical sourcing and transparency. The company said, well, there are broader implications, ethical sourcing in focus, and then what is next. Really, the article elaborates a lot. Now, in broader implications are the legal action brings to light the persistent challenge in ensuring ethical supply chains in the tech industry, while companies like Apple have made strides in using recycled materials and improving supply chain audits. The allegation from the DRC suggests that gaps, remain. The case could have far-reaching implications for the tech sector, particularly if the court rules against Apple. Other corporations may face increased scrutiny over their sourcing practices, and there could be heightened pressure to adopt more stringent measures to ensure conflict-free supply chains. Now, ethical sourcing in focus, then this is what happens. Human rights organizations have praised the DRC's actions as a step toward addressing systemic issues in the global mining industry. Tech companies have a responsibility to ensure their supply chains do not contribute to violence and exploitation, said a spokesperson for Amnesty International. So what is next? The case will now proceed through the legal systems in France and Belgium. Industry experts are closely watching the developments, as the outcome could set a new standard for corporate accountability in supply chain practices. As the legal battle unfolds, it serves a stark reminder of the human cost often hidden behind the glossy finish of high-tech gadgets. For Apple and other tech giants, the stakes are not only financial, but also reputational, as consumers increasingly demand ethical practices from the brands they support by buying it with their own money. Okay, so I tell you quickly, this is what I'm going to reflect. I wish, recently I also brought it as a report here. Bangladesh, what it did to Apple is that actually it told Apple, it's using its labor. There are things that they are using from Bangladesh. So Bangladesh government told Apple that they have to invest more than $1 billion in their country. Otherwise, they block the buying the Apple sales in their country. And guess what? Apple first did 10 million, and then it raised it to 25 millions of dollars. That's an insult, for a country GDP of, in hundreds of millions, or if not more. Now, Bangladesh said no, and then they blocked it. I haven't come across any reading that says they have lifted that banning, but they banned Apple sell in their country unless Apple invests, more than $1 billion in their country. So this is how you go. I wish, knowing that what is going on in DRC, the African Union knows, all the regions knows that the African Union issues a statement that it will order African countries to ban the selling of Apple in their country unless Apple stop buying this blood mineral from DRC. That was a way to go to fight this. It should have supported DRC. But again, the African Union is just standing by the corner and watching everybody interfere in the affairs of that's happening in its territory. Okay. And so I really don't expect any more from the African Union, but I hope I suggest to DRC, to the government of DRC, they ban the sale of any Apple product in their country unless Apple corrects this. Thank you very much for listening, and let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this Apple taking DRC taking Apple, criticizing it, to bringing it to justice. So yeah, let us know in the comment section. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that so far. Like the channel if you find it informative enough. Share the video with others. Do not keep knowledge and information to yourself. Last not but least, please support us through our PayPal account. And that was it. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think of this?